What's going on, guys? Ironcane here, back with another Dragon Ball The Breaker Season 3 video, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a tier list with all the Survivor skins. I feel like now that we have 9 Survivor skins, it's about time we, are able to actually grade them and place them into different tiers. Now, some of these guys only have one skill, being an active skill, which are the ones that are typically on the Dragon tier. So like Baba, the Farmer, and King Furry. They unfortunately only have one active skill, but a lot of the other ones that are purchasable either come with passive skills or active skills, but most of them come with active skills. So we're going to be placing them into tiers and talking about placements as we go. So the way I'm going to be grading this is going to be based on animations, unique animations, like how unique the character is overall, the viableness of the skills, like if you actually will ever use them. So like, this guy over here, Yajirobe, might be a little lower just because his escape ability where you can drag people isn't that great. But let's get right into it. So I feel like, why don't we start off with the originals, right? Like the OGs. So for Bulma, I mean, if I was doing this like early season 2 or season 1, I 100% would have put her in S. Just because Charming Pose is my personal favorite stun. Bike was absolutely insane, but now Bulma has fallen off tremendously, I would say, because of her bike skill not being that great. But I do think in terms of animations, I don't really think she has anything crazy special. I think she has like a unique gun, but I think her dodge is, fairly generic. I mean, I'm not gonna really like keep voice lines in mind when like grading here, because I'll be honest with y'all, I don't even remember half their voice lines. But I feel like just because of the value of Charming Pose, and honestly, Bike is still relatively usable. We might move her around later based on where we put other people. I feel like C is fine, but I might make her low B just because of how much I personally value Charming Pose. And Bike, although it not being competitive, it is still technically usable, and there have been moments where people have popped Bike on me and they actually have been able to dust me, but it's only in specific scenarios where they're able to like get out of my line of sight. But it is nowhere near like what it used to be, where you could pop Barrier Bike and you're on your merry way, right? So next up, let's do Oolong, right? So Oolong, bro, he would have been down here. He absolutely would have been down here. But with the balance adjustments, honestly, Rocket is one of the best active skills in the game, and it's probably one of the best free-to-play skills in the game currently. It's very, very good for escaping. It travels great distance. Like the maneuverability with Rocket is very good, and they still have not patched out the bug or like the exploit, whatever you want to call it, when you use landing delay and then pop the Rocket. So you can even get an extra burst of speed with the Rocket if you use landing delay. So I feel like the only thing really holding Oolong back is, change, like the camouflage. Camouflage, personally, I mean, I think in the past, hold on, give me a sec. I want to look up and read its description. Alrighty, so in the past, I think this was either in the beta or like early phases of Season 1, I forget. But camouflage used to nullify key sense for a short period of time if you popped it correctly. But now they got rid of that. I forgot how long it's been gone from the game. But now all it does is negate lock-on after you use it for a short amount of time. Is camouflage good? Not really, in my opinion. If you're going up against a very good raider, they're going to be able to sniff out, someone using camouflage very easily. Oolong literally yells on the top of his lung, "Change!" So it's like, it's pretty obvious when you're doing it if you're in close proximity of the raider. And again, you get key sensed, I believe, when you're camouflaged as well. But it's fun. It's a silly ability, especially when you use it with Baba. It can be really, really fun. But I feel like Oolong being very, very small and very, very short makes him a little difficult to see, and it makes his hitbox smaller as well. In terms of animations, I'm pretty sure his like dodge and most of his stuff is like the default. He has like his own unique gun or pistol or whatever he has. So I feel like for Oolong, I feel like you could make the argument for A. At the very least, high B. I think I'm going to put him in A just because of how good Rocket is, and especially with landing delay. Landing delay and Rocket is like unhittable. Like, it is unhittable. It is Rocket is a tremendous escape, and it's like one of the best free-to-play active skill. It probably, honestly, it probably is the best free-to-play active skill in the game. Like, now that I'm thinking about it. Like, besides Charming Pose, like, Charming Pose is obviously very, very good, and I think it's a better stun, personally, than Solar Flare, because it lands more consistently for me. But I feel like Oolong Rocket just has so much value for its escapes, for its, you know, traversive capabilities. Like, I just feel like Oolong deserves a spot in A. Even though Change isn't that great, I would say Change is a little less troll than Bike, but maybe I'm capping on that. But I still feel like Oolong belongs in A for Rocket alone. So next up, maybe we'll go in order. Let's go in order just for the season 1. Here we have the Farmer. Hoo-wee! The power level of 5 Farmer, man. The GOAT, the legend. Honestly, probably belongs in the tier of his own because he's so bad. I mean, at the very least, I guess I could, like, put him in C for pity. Just because he does have, like, his gun shoots very fast. W, I guess. But, his active skill is not good, dude. I'm sorry, it's not good. I've tried to make it look good. It's not good. I've tried my very best by, maxing it out. I even used it in combination with, Goten's passive skill to allow me to use Till even more. But, bro, there's been times where Till was giving me a Super Soda. There's been times where it's giving me a soda. There's been times where it's giving me a cube or Zeni. And there's been a plethora of moments where I've been getting jack shit from Till. So, for that alone, this is all that the Farmer provides. Unfortunately, he does not have any passive skills. I think his voice lines are fun. I think he's a fun, active, or fun survivor skin. But in terms of, like, usability, in terms of value, it's not great, man. It's not good. Please do not upgrade Till. Do not do it. Just don't even use the skill, bro. If you want to use Farmer, fine, I get it. Like, it's fun, it's memey. But, like, this active skill is a joke. It's a joke. So, for that reason, we will be placing, honestly, Farmer belongs in his, honestly, let's make a tier for Farmer. All right, man, we got Goatmer in his own tier, where he deserves. And, you know, we'll just do this one in order. Typically for the tier list, I like to mix things up, but because we don't have too many survivor skins to look at here, I think we will just go in order. So next up, we have Chi-Chi, we have Yajirobe, and we have King Furry. So, Chi-Chi, while her active skill was bugged, if you guys don't know, let me actually just pull it up so you guys can see. Her Flames of Mount Frypan skill, when this was bugged, dude, you could set up, like, multiple survivors could equip this skill and basically box the raider in wherever they wanted to. And during the volley meta of all things, it was incredibly toxic, and raiders basically couldn't do anything because there were some raider levels where their Ki Blast and supers could not even penetrate the walls. Pause. And they just had to take their beating, dude. They just had to take their beating. But as this active skill has kind of fallen off, it's still useful. Still useful. If someone is summoning, it still has that usage. If someone is needing to be revived, it still has that usage. If you need to defend the STM, still has usage there. It still has its usage, but it can be taken out very quickly. However, Bancho Fan, I actually need to revisit this skill and showcase it. This skill is basically a free rocket that you can get every 25 seconds if you upgrade this ability to max. It completely negates the gauge on hit, sends the raider very, very far, good for defending the STM, good for getting the raider to drop their Dragon Balls. Chi-Chi has unique animations. I think her win, freaking avatar, like Aang, like moves, those are really cool. She has a unique dodge where she does like a cartwheel. Honestly, I feel like Chi-Chi could go in S. Chi-Chi could go in S. But I'm going to put her in A for now. Just because I feel like Rocket is better. Bancho Fan is really good, dude. Bancho Fan is really, really good. I think she belongs in A. We will revisit her. I see the chat. I'm recording this live on twitch.tv/Ironcane. If you ever want to see me do these tier lists live. Chat's spamming S. They are spamming S. But I don't want to do S, bro. I feel like S is kind of cat, man. Because I feel like nobody is using wall. Let's be honest with ourselves. Nobody is using wall. Bancho Fan is very good. Do not get me wrong. Bancho Fan is very good. I mean, maybe if you want to, like, based on her animations, you want to give her S, sure. But I just feel like Rocket is better than Bancho Fan, personally. I want to clarify something with the chat, actually, really quick. All right, so I'm arguing with the chat. What I want to clarify with them, I wanted to ask them if the rocket can nullify the gauge, if it can deplete the gauge if it lands. It does. So I feel like, to be fair, I mean, both the Chi-Chi's abilities are good. Even though Wall has fallen off, it is good. Both her active skills are good. Her animations are really good. Do we keep Oolong in A? I guess I just feel bad because although Change is not that good, I feel like Rocket is good enough to put Oolong in S. But for now, I'll keep him in A. I'm just going to say right now, I feel like Oolong deserves to be in S because we put Chi-Chi in S. But I feel pressured by the chat to keep him in A. But we might move him later. So next up, we're going to do Goat Yajirobe. Here. So Yajirobe has no active skills. He does have unique attack animations with his katana, which is pretty sick. But let's take a look at his passive skills that he brings to the game. So his passive skills are Temporary Retreat. And then we have the Feeder passive skill, which is Head Start Senzu Beans. So this is actually a good passive skill, but unfortunately, it has not been used in the way the devs have intended. Many feeders have used Head Start Senzu to feed very quickly so they can get their raiders fast, so they can farm the events. And it's unfortunately a very toxic ability. Temporary Retreat is garbage. It's terrible. I have tried using this skill with First Aid. I've tried using this skill with Movement Boost. I've tried using this skill with Landing Delay. This skill is fucking terrible, bro. I'm sorry. You cannot save this skill. It heals like at a snail's pace. You drag people at a snail's pace. I don't understand. Like, if they're gonna make you move bodies so slow, at least make the healing not slow. If they're gonna make the healing so slow, at least make you be able to move bodies faster. Like, I don't get the reasoning why they made this passive so bad. They need to revisit it. They need to patch it, bro. They need to revisit it like they did with Oolong. Just because no one is using this passive, bro. It's troll. It's honestly troll. It's honestly troll to use. So I feel like the fact that one of Yajirobe's passives is troll, although he does has unique animations, attack-wise, I'm pretty sure his dodge is not unique. We will put him in D. I feel like Yajirobe, unfortunately, the GOAT does deserve D. He unfortunately does deserve D. So next up, we have King Furry, who was the Dragon Tier exclusive Survivor skin for Season 2. Now, originally, I thought King Furry was fucking mid. I thought he was fucking mid. His animations were identical to Yajirobe in terms of dodging, and his gun animation, I think, is exactly the same as, like, the base Survivor. So animations are an L. Voice lines are kind of whatever. Who really wants to hear King Furry, like, you know, scream with excitement? Like, who cares, right? However, King Furry's active skill has gained a lot of value with the implementation of the gauge system. So if you guys don't know how backup attack works, you can basically be at any part of the map and backup attack will land if you can actually see the raider. Only time it doesn't work is like if the raider is in caves or whatnot. This is very good to knock the raider off of survivors if they're trying to get absorptions, if they're trying to summon Shenron, if they're trying to destroy the STM. This active skill is very, very good. Now, this is all King Furry has to bring, mind you. So I do think at best, you could give him C, but I don't think you could give him any higher than B. I do think backup attack is pretty solid though. But I feel like if you are going to use backup attack, I mean, why not just use Bancho Fan, right? Bancho Fan is going to be coming back faster and knocks the raider back further. But the only plus of backup attack is of the simplicity of using it. You can use it from anywhere. You don't have to be up close and personal. Where there is a little more risk using Bancho Fan. But I do think backup attack at least gives King Furry an excuse to be in C. I think we will put him in C. You could argue B, like, but it would be low B. I would put him. I don't know. I'm gonna keep him in C because at least Bulma Bike is like somewhat usable. I mean, you're going to have to equip the passive, the vehicle speed boost. But let's move along to Season 3. So for Season 3, we got Dende, which has been a long-awaited Survivor skin. He has added the first, like, supportive skills that we've gotten in a long time, besides, like, Wall of Defense. So it was really great to get Dende. King Kai has added some Disruption active skills, which is pretty cool. And also gives us, like, a UAV of where the Raider is, excuse me. And then we have Baba, the baddie. Baba the baddie with her blicky. Baba, honestly, I mean, we'll get to Baba. We'll get to Baba. So Dende, let's look at his skills before we place him. Let's look at his skills. So Dende comes with an active skill, and he comes with a passive skill as well. So his active skill has an insanely long cooldown. An insanely long cooldown of like 180 seconds, I believe. But this is an instant heal. And keep in mind, Senzus are not an infinite resource on maps. They're not an infinite resource. So the fact that you can acquire an instant res throughout the match is incredibly useful. And keep in mind, we do have a passive in the game, thanks to Dende, which is Dragon Clan Healing, which allows us to restore an ally's barrier when you res them. So this is a great passive, even if you aren't using this active skill. It's a great passive even if you aren't using this, because say if you're using Senzus, say if you're just doing raw heals, it's still good. Dende doesn't really have the most unique animations, but he is smaller, giving him a smaller hitbox, making him more difficult to see. I mean, I guess he is green, so he kind of sticks out. But for Little Green, honestly, I think his skills are very, very good. Probably the best skills that we have gotten on a Survivor skin. Like, no shit. So I feel like for that reason alone, he belongs in S. Later, we can argue if, you know, Chi-Chi belongs at the top of S or Dende. I'm going to put Dende just because I feel like his... I don't know. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. So next up, we have King Kai. So before we move King Kai, let's look at his skills. So King Kai does not have any passives, but he does bring 2 actives to the game. So his 2 active skills are Telepathy and Get Out Here Bubbles. So Telepathy is an interesting one because this active skill allows you to see where the Raider is no matter where they are on the map. This is very good for pre-mades especially, and I feel like especially for beginning portions of the map when survivors are trying to get as much power for their D-change transformations. If you're at level 0, someone pops Telepathy, that knows them or alerts them where the Raider is at, allowing them to avoid the Raider and go somewhere else. Now, Get Out Here Bubbles is a really fun active skill. The only thing that like isn't... this skill can miss. Bubbles can just kind of like screw off and not do anything sometimes. Bubbles does stay out for a long time. Like he can like eventually wait for the Raider to come to him and then jump. But I have used this skill and I have successfully escaped with it. But it does have a fairly long cooldown. It completely obscures the Raider's vision. It's kind of like a blooper in Mario Kart. It's a fun skill. I think it's their first attempt at some sort of like disruption ability for King Kai. But honestly, in terms of skills, they're kind of mid. They're kind of mid. Telepathy is okay. It is okay. I would say it's better than Get Out of Here Bubbles. But they're kind of mid, man. King Kai does at least have a unique basic attack. He sends out these little blasts. That's kind of cool. I'm pretty sure he has the same dodge as all the other characters like Yajirobe, King FURRY. They all have the same. So I feel like King Kai... Chat said A? I think King Kai belongs in B. I'm going to put him in B. B seems fair. Because I feel like in terms of usage, let's be honest, boys. You are never seeing Get Out Here Bubbles and like, maybe once in a blue moon Telepathy. You are seeing Charming Pose like every game. Every game you're seeing Charming Pose. Now, albeit you're not seeing Bikes as much as you were. Occasionally you do. But you see Charming Pose every game just about. So I feel like, you know, in terms of like who's higher here, it's definitely Bulma. It's definitely Bulma. So last but not least, we have the Grandma Goat herself, Baba. So Baba is the unique survivor skin. She's the most unique survivor skin. She does not walk. She floats. She floats. So Baba is the only survivor skin in the game that actually some passives straight up have no effect on her. So Baba is able to fly without the usage of a dragon change, but because of this, there are multiple passives that she can't use. She cannot use hovering device. She cannot use landing delay nullification unless she's in a D change. She cannot use movement speed boost asphalt, dirt, sand. She can use expert driver. That does give her a little bit of a boost. She can't use jump power boost because she cannot jump. She cannot use sprint. She cannot use mid-air jump. And what's stupid, which I want to bring a point to this because it is very silly, the fact that you can equip Baba as a survivor skin, but also equip these passives that are literally dead. Dead passives that have no effect on Baba. For that reason alone, it's very silly. Very silly. The devs need to change this. They need to gray out the passives that have no effect on Baba, because there's going to be some people that are going to equip moves like wall kick on Baba, moves like slide on Baba, and have no idea that they have no effect on her. So they need to definitely change that, and I just want to bring that up. So in terms of her skill, it's Dragon Ball Diviner. Now, I think for pre-mades, this skill is very good. It allows you to see where the Dragon Balls are whenever you want. It has a fairly long cooldown for the right reasons, but unlike telepathy, this skill only shows you where the Dragon Balls are and not the other players where the Dragon Balls are, which makes sense. Could be a little OP if it did do that, but Baba, I must say this, Baba is slow as fuck. She is absolutely slow as fuck, and you kind of need to make a build to compensate for her lack of speed. She moves slow vertically, horizontally, in every direction. In every direction, she moves slow. You need to use vehicle speed boost for her just to get around a little bit faster, and you need to hop on vehicles just to get around faster in general. So as fun as Baba is, I feel like I can't put her any higher than C. She is great. You know, she's the most unique survivor skin in the game. If I were to grade these survivor skins on uniqueness, she would be in Z tier, right? But in terms of usability and in terms of skills, Baba unfortunately does not cut it as strong as her Baba Blicky is. We will be putting her in C. But I do think she is better than Yajirobe. And I honestly, I mean, if I were to be like non-Mimi here, yeah, no, Farmer's probably still the worst. Farmer's still probably the worst, yeah. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to chat to see if we need to move things around in terms of putting Chi-Chi below Dende or moving any of these guys around. But I'm pretty content with this. You guys let me know in the comments below if you're content with this as well. But I'm gonna discuss things with the chat and see if we need to move stuff. All right, boys, I discussed it with the chat. I think for me personally, just because I'm grading this tier list based on animations and skills, Chi-Chi for me personally goes above Dende and S. But 100%, if we're basing it entirely on skills, you could even argue Chi-Chi belongs in A. But Dende would 100% be above Chi-Chi if you're putting them both in S. Just because Dende's skills are better. Dende's skills are 100% better. Just because, like, literally all his skills are good. All his skills are good. It's just that I really do appreciate Chi-Chi having unique attack animations, a unique dodge animation. Just because Yajirobe, the farmer, King Furry, and King Kai all have the exact same dodging animation, bro. It is so disappointing, man. I really want them to do what they did with Chi-Chi and include unique dodging animations for all the survivor skins. So yeah, boys, I think this is the list. Now, the only thing I feel like a little like mixed about, I think you could argue Oolong and S. I think you could make that argument just because of how good Rocket is. I don't think change really makes a difference in terms of his placement here. But I do think he at the very least belongs in A, and it would be high A as well. Animations is the only reason why Chi-Chi is here. Dende is 100% in S, locked in at S. Bulma has fallen off because of the bike nerfs. Her charming pose is fantastic. You literally see survivors using it like every other game. King Kai, I think, is for his unique animations, for his skills being okay. Is he in B? Am I really gonna do it? I mean, King Kai's active skill is better than both King Furry's active skill is better than King Kai. King Furry's active skill is better than both King Kai's, I feel like, personally. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do this. I think the backup attack is pretty good, dude. I think the backup attack is pretty good. Bro, no one's using bubbles. And no one's using telepathy. Although they are a decent active skill, no one's using them, bro. No one's using them. Like, they're decent, but like, backup attack, I feel like just gives you more value for like depleting the gauge, dropping Dragon Balls, defending the SDM, all that stuff. Although King Kai does have more unique animations, I just feel like backup attack is like more value. I'm happy with this. Yajirobe belongs here, and Goatmer is Goatmer. All right, boys. I think that's the list. Let me know in the comments below if you agree with my list, if you would change things, who you would change. Let me know if you think this list is trash, you think it's cap, how you would change it. Show me your list. If you guys make this list, I'll actually try to remember to include the link to make your own list in the description below. You know, send it in the Discord as well, which is in the description below. Share me your lists so we can, you know, discuss. But yeah, just let me know where you would place certain characters, what skills you use the most out of all these Survivor skins. Which Survivor skin is your favorite? Like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe to the Ironcane for more tier lists like these. Funny moments, showcases, updates, all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, peace out, have fun.